What's good? Today I'm gonna talk my shit. Yeah, this your boy. Yeah, let's chop it up. Let's converse on this whole Texas situation. See, it's a new like situation going on. And the situation is back in the days we used to joke all the time. And it was a lot of comedians, and they would say the 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 best Mary Jane, the best herbal essence comes from brown country, comes from where brown people are. And the only how can I say it? The only reason why it was illegal is because you really couldn't tax it. Well, guess what? They found a way to tax it. And that way to tax it is by selling in stores, Delta 8. But see, here's the loophole that the government and they're using. The loophole is even though they sell it in the stores, it still can be considered illegal. Say for instance, if a police officer pulls you over, guess what? That pipe or the rolling papers, that's drug paraphernalia. But guess what? You bought all of that in the fucking store. So how crooked is that? See, that's how they backdoor you. That's how they're able to kill two birds with one stone. So the the prison industry is still able to make money off of you and turn you into slaves for forever by pretty much sending you to court. You know, pretty much prosecuting you for having drugs, for having Mary Jane. But the kicker is the Mary Jane that you received, you purchased it in a store where there's a receipt for it. See, this is the thing. They're not going to charge the people who plant the Mary Jane. They're not going to charge people that grow the Mary Jane. They're not going to charge people that transport the Mary Jane or the Delta 8 in trucks. They're not charging none of those people. They're not charging none of those people for shipping and loading up the gummies. But guess what? You, the consumer, they're hitting you. See, this is a new era. This is the post-COVID era. The post-COVID era is all about turning everybody into slaves. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a zombie, if you want to be a slave, hey, have at it, because that's what they're trying to do every single day. That's what the new system is set up for. You know, they're trying to get you locked into a system, so now you're a permanent slave. Now you're permanently in the lower tier society, so they can make money off of you, do whatever with you, discard you. You know, because it's like this. How can you sell this product in the store and prosecute me for it? And see, this is the thing about Texas, right? In Texas, they're not. You notice the judges and the lawyers, they're not going after people who drink alcohol. They're not going after people who, that are into wine. They're really not going after people that abuse prescription drugs. Because guess what? Those are all their vices of choice. They're going after the lower tier. They're going after the brown people. They're going after the melanated people. And the melanated people usually dabble in a little bit of Mary Jane. But guess what? Last time I checked, I don't hear about too many people smoking weed, beating their wives, or crashing into people, driving and crashing into people and killing, tons of people. But guess what? People under the influence, they kill people every day. People under the influence of alcohol are more likely to get into a vehicular homicide situation where they take out 4 or 5 people, where they take out an innocent baby, an innocent child, a mother going driving to work because they're drunk, intoxicated, under the influence. But oh, they're going after the people who smoke weed. I don't see too many violent people who smoke weed. Yeah, they might be a little lethargic, might be moving slow. They might, I mean, the most thing that I see is, maybe they might go to the store and eat up everything. That's it. But it's better that you regulate it in the store than you have it where, because pretty much before COVID came, they were putting fentanyl on the weed. They were putting fentanyl on a lot of stuff, killing people. So this is a better way to at least make sure everybody has something safe and this is regulated. But now they're turning something regulated into something where you can charge somebody, turn into a situation where they can criminalize it. And the only reason they're criminalized is because they're trying to churn up more slaves. That's it. Because how are you, if you want to come after somebody, come after the multimillionaires and the billionaires that's allowing this stuff to come into this country. That's who you need to come after. But they know it's too much money in it. You know what I'm saying? And eventually they're going to have to, people are going to do drugs or have fun or do whatever, to kind of blow off some steam anyway. So the more you try to get rid of medicinal substances that you can use to kind of, help yourself along in life, the more people are going to keep messing with fentanyl, the more people are going to be doing crystal meth, the more people are going to be abusing over-the-counter drugs, and all those drugs is way worse than THC or Delta 8 could ever be. I do think you should regulate the levels that they're putting in it because, some of it I think is more than, human consumption. Pretty much it's almost like a psychedelic, like you're taking shrooms, because, you hear, old heads back in the day, our stuff was never like that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you can make stuff a little too strong, but I don't see where it's hurting people and it's causing madness like alcohol would. If you want to do anything, bring prohibition back. But see, those judges, those lawyers ain't going to bring prohibition back because they like their wine too much. Them old women like their wine too much. They like their drinks too much. Those cops like their liquor too much. And, I'm prior service, so I know how people get down when they're under the influence. Fights, people smacking up their wives, people doing this, people doing that. You don't know what can happen. So, that's just my 2 cents on the whole situation. So it's like, the main thing is you need to be careful and you need to be mindful of what's going on. Because stuff like this can mess up your whole entire life. Situations like this can change the course of your whole entire life. You thinking, okay, I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna get me, a couple grams of some Delta 8, I'm gonna chill out, I'm gonna vibe. Next thing you know, a cop pulls you over and confiscates it, and now you're standing before a judge looking at a felony, looking at a long prison term. And this is a trap that they set up for you because a lot of times they don't want melanated people to vote anyway. They don't want lower class people to vote anyway. So they set up these traps for you to feed into the system so you can be a permanent underclass. So it's up to you to figure out a way to break from the system, figure out the tricks and the traps that they use to get us in these situations so you can better prepare yourself for life, because all of us want to live a good life, want to enjoy life, but this world we live in is a very evil place, and there's prey and there's predators. Don't find yourself in the jaws of a wolf, and that's what this situation is. The main things that they enjoy, they're not going to come for it. You know what I'm saying? Just like cocaine and crack, it was only it was fine when it hit the black community or other communities, but guess what? When it hit the Caucasian community, now it's an epidemic. So the same thing is going on here. You know what I'm saying? So the things that they enjoy, it's only going to become a problem when it affects them, or if it's something that they don't do. As long as it's something that you do or you partake in, or as long as the way they can get you in a trap, they're all for it. They're game for it. You know, so that's my thoughts, and that's my personal opinion on that situation. You know, be safe out there, be careful. You know what I'm saying? Understand your state's laws and legislations. Make sure to get out there and vote. You know, so you can safeguard yourself against people that have these predatory laws that try to take advantage of law-abiding citizens. You know, because this is the world we live in. The world we live in, they don't come after sexual predators. They don't come after evil people. You know what I'm saying? They don't come after people who rape. People who are stealing billions of dollars. People who's setting up false organizations, stealing billions of taxpayer dollars that could go towards feeding children, feeding the hungry, and providing affordable homes for people. No, they want to go after people that smoke Delta 8 that they sell in the stores. They want to go after people who's trying their best just to survive. They want to go after they want to pick on the lowest man on the totem pole because it's an easy fight. They can just kick your sandcastle over. That's it. They don't want to address the real problems because most of them are sexual predators. You know what I'm saying? You notice how that whole situation with Epstein was pretty much swept under the rug. You know what I'm saying? Not to be brought up again, but yet and still they wish to come after people that just wants to have a little, a little nice little smoke or whatever your case it may be. You know what I'm saying? But again, Delta 8 marijuana isn't doing half of the damage, even close to the damage that alcohol is doing to this country. So that's my thoughts. All right. Peace.